Hello, it's another beautiful day. I was going to do a really quick video. I don't know if you can hear me over the waves or not. Yeah, this is what I'm looking at, kind of, sort of. Yeah. Um, I guess the topic for today is, can we prevent a door slam? The answer is yes and no. Okay, so the way I see it, we go through cycles of life and we're constantly outgrowing things, whether that be situations, experiences, relationships, occupations. We're constantly outgrowing ourselves or moving into new spaces, right? And I believe like everything happens for a reason. You meet certain people, they teach you a lesson, and then once you learn the lesson, or they learn their lesson, it's time to move on, you know? And the whole door slam thing, I think it has like a negative connotation to it, but if you think about it, we're opening doors and closing them all the time. Well, actually, we're opening them, we're closing them, or we're shutting them gently or slamming them. We're opening doors, walking through them, or standing in place, so everything is a doorway to a new experience or a new lesson or a new whatever, an opportunity for a new you, basically. That's why you walk through doors. And doors don't only pertain to relationships, they pertain to habits, they pertain to destinations, you know what I mean? And all we are is just kind of like moving through life into a new place and space all the time. And you meet people, like I said, for a reason. And once you guys learn the lesson, you can either make an agreement to prolong the contract, or it comes to an end. And when it comes to an end, you can either deal with that graciously, or you can, it can fall apart like disastrously. But either way, when something has come to an end and it's time to move on and close the door or slam it, it's going to happen. It can't be prevented. And I think like you can't change people. So even if you were, say, attached to a particular person, but they're not willing to meet you halfway or meet you 100% of the way, then it's just not going to happen. And then you have to learn to just kind of like pick yourself up and move forward. That's my answer for if you can prevent a door slam or not. And like I said, the answer is yes and no. It just depends on the situation. It depends on the dynamics of the relationship you're currently in. If both parties are willing to put in 100%, then, there's promise for you guys to grow together. But if one person is not willing to, renew a contract, and I call them contracts because I feel like we make contracts all the time. Soul contracts, yeah. And that's why you meet who you want to meet. You've made contracts before you even incarnated onto this planet. And you agreed to meet certain people at a particular time, place, or space. You made agreements with your parents to, enter them. And I don't know if I'm making sense. Yeah, it's cool. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And it's cool. So that's my final answer. You can slam the door, you can walk through it graciously and close it graciously. There's so many ways of doing it, and nothing is right or wrong. That's the thing. Like, we make like door slamming is so wrong. How is that wrong? If you need to door slam as a defense mechanism in order to preserve what's left of yourself, then that's essential. You know what I mean? It's not good or bad, right or wrong. There's a plane flying by. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. Anyways, lots of noise pollution, kind of, sort of. Um, yeah, I don't think door slamming is necessarily bad. And I think in a previous video I said that I think INFJs have become so accustomed to like leaving things behind and not looking back. And I think that's one of our stronger attributes because a lot of other personality types, they get really fixated and stuck emotionally, mentally, physically in an experience instead of having the courage and the resilience and the strength to move on and forward. You know what I mean? Like for me personally, like I will put forth a certain amount of energy and effort before I realize that, you know, something is not worth like investing in anymore. But once I like exhaust all my options and I'm very sure that I've done everything that I could in order to retain something, and I realize it's stressing me out and draining me more than, um, you know, feeling fulfilling and revitalizing, I know it's, you know, something has come to an end, and I have no problem like walking away and walking forward or rising above it. You know what I mean? It's really easy for me to like invest myself emotionally, mentally, and, you know, I don't know if emotionally and mentally for sure. It's easy for me to do that, but it's also easy for me to detach from it once I realize it's run its course and it's become toxic. You know what I mean? So I guess that's what you have to realize, and it takes practice. It's not easy. I mean, I feel like I've been practicing all my life. And so now when a situation arises or a relationship arises, it's so easy for me to just kind of like let it go. Like, you know what I mean? Like getting mad, getting worried, being afraid does nothing to progress you. You know what I mean? Instead of like succumbing to these negatively charged emotions, transmute them into um, positive things so that you can use that energy to push through and forward through all obstacles, you know, any obstacle. And it makes you a stronger person. You know, it's not like you don't care, you don't love anymore, or you're resentful. I mean, you could be, but for me, it's like I'm highly grateful. I'm highly grateful to everyone and everything, regardless of if it's perceived to be negative or positive. You know, because either way, I learned a lesson. You know, and it's helped me to become who I am today. So that's my answer. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Um, if you learned something, that's great. If you didn't learn something, that's great too. Tomato, tomato. Blessings to one and all. Amen.